Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Service Box. My name's Tim Baghurst, joined by Commissioner TJ Bomba and two special guests this evening, Gaby Martinez, Maria Renee Rodriguez, Team Guatemala. Well, if you're just joining us, we've been doing these over the past few weeks and really enjoyed getting to know some of the players on a personal level. This is an opportunity for you to ask some questions, find out a little bit more about them, and what they're up to right now. And so let me start by asking Gaby and Maria Renee. So during this time where we can't play racquetball, what are you doing with yourself?
I'm still training a lot during the day, and I'm also studying online for my classes in counseling. So my day consists on basically the same thing I've been doing for a while, just not on a racquetball court, but I'm still doing like a lot of resistance work and using the rebounder to play. We also found a wall near here, so I've been hitting there some days. So it's been a challenge, but I've been able to adapt and just enjoying more time here and spending time outside as much as I can.
Gaby?
Well, for me, it's been like really different because I love being outside and like going to chat, and I'm really energetic, so I love being out. But right now I'm just adapting to this new lifestyle, and Olympic Committee here give me a lot of equipment to try to make my trainings as similar as possible that as when we were in the court. So I think it's just to try to adapt right now and just keep uh, motivated to reach my goals, because we all know it's a difficult time, but we have to keep motivating ourselves to keep working on the things we want.
Mm-hmm. So before we go on, if you're just joining us, if you have a question, be sure to post it in the chat box and we'll try to get it to these two ladies. You talked a little bit about goals, Gaby. So let me ask you, and then Maria Renee, what are your goals for the next season? I mean, obviously we've finished this year, which is very unfortunate, but we will hopefully have a very busy season next year, and obviously international play as well that maybe we didn't get to do this summer, but will happen next year. What are you trying to achieve in the next year or two?
Well, I just want to travel as much as I can. With school, it's sometimes difficult because they don't allow me to miss school too much. So I'm working on that too, to have an agreement with them so they will allow me to go to more stops. And my goal is to reach the top 10 again. I mean, it is difficult to be number like 30 right now,
Mm-hmm.
which I know I could be better. So I'm planning on playing the tour a lot more.
Okay. Maria Renee?
I think now that I'm the tour rep, I get to travel to almost every stop. So honestly, I want to be in the top 5 for next season, and I'm working really hard for this goal that I have. So it doesn't matter that we're quarantined right now. Like I'm still working really hard, and hopefully I'll get there next season.
Well, I want to go to the question, the chat box in a minute and start with those questions. But I know TJ, you have some questions as well. So you want to ask one before we get going?
Yeah, I mean, both of you players are from Guatemala. You play for Team Guatemala. What is racquetball like in the country of Guatemala? Are there a lot of junior programs? Are there a lot of junior players? What are the courts like? Do you have a lot of events there? Just describe the situation for racquetball.
Well, it's been growing in the last years. Like when we started playing, we were just in a private club, which it was like maybe really expensive at that time. So it was like just on a specific group will play. But right now, like we we have the new 10 courts, public courts, and we were talking sooner today, and I was counting the new kids playing, and there are like 50, 70 new kids coming up, training, and that's amazing. I mean, that's a dream come true for all of us. Having a lot of new players, they love it. I don't know, hopefully some good players come out of that.
It's great.
Yeah, and also it's really good because many of our players come from like vulnerable zones, and our coach Juan Jose from Guatemala, he has always been very interested in trying to make sure these kids that come and play have a different opportunity, and instead of going to a gang, for example, they can have a better life thanks to racquetball. So I think that's super great that now, like Gaby said, we have 10 courts and we have a lot more kids, and hopefully they'll do better thanks to our sport.
It's great news.
Yeah, that's amazing to have that kind of facility. Let's get to the questions then. And Daily Racquetball says, Team Guatemala, you've done a series of interviews about training as Olympic class athletes on the Mi Amigo Olímpico channel. Are you still updating those?
Yes, we are. So we have been part of this project for maybe 4 or 5 years. We were some of the first ones that started, and every year, so how the program works is that we become like mentors of a class of 6th graders, and we send them one video every month about Olympism, Olympic values, goal setting, healthy lifestyle, and so we keep updating them every year.
Okay. Next question. Armando says, do you watch old videos of your matches to learn from them?
Yeah, all the time. We usually, well, at least me, I usually watch the ones where I lost to check what I'm not doing right, and also check my opponent's videos to see what they are doing great and what they are not, just to have a different strategy next time I play against them.
Well, let me ask you then, why don't you watch the ones where you do well?
Usually, because when I'm watching, I think that's like a personal thing, but when I watch the ones I win, I usually don't focus on the mistakes because I know I won. So maybe it wasn't good enough, but I won the point or I won the rally, so I don't really care. And when I lost, I'm really focused on watching all the things I did wrong.
Renee, what about you?
Yeah, I watch a lot of videos too, and I watch a little bit of everything. I watch when I win, when I don't win, and I also watch, like, if I'm gonna play a certain player on the next tournament and I haven't played against them, I'll look up some of their matches and try to figure out a game plan for them. So yeah, it's a constant thing, and I think there's a lot that we can learn from watching ourselves play. It's not fun sometimes. Sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, how could I hit that shot? But it's definitely necessary to get better.
JP is on, JP Edwards. He's a big fan and supporter of the LPRT and has done some work for us. He said, how did it feel to win a silver medal at the Pan Am Games? And how long until we see you play doubles together again?
How long until we can play racquetball again?
Good question. But talk a little bit about like just that experience of going to the Pan Am Games and achieving so much.
Well, it was our second time in the Pan Am Games. I think it was a really different experience because last time we were maybe too little or we didn't have too much experience with racquetball. So it was maybe just to get to know the places and, you know, like the area where we play. So right now it was like a real competition and we knew we could do really good. And we just worked so hard. For me, it was kind of different because I stopped playing and I trained like 2 months to get there, but I trained so hard that it was so satisfying to be there and to win a medal.
Yeah, and it was definitely like an amazing experience. It was the first medal in Guatemala racquetball history in the Pan Am Games. So like everyone in our team was super excited. Like, and we had like everyone there. Like we had 2 coaches and the psychologist and all the physiotherapists and the whole team. And so having that support behind us and celebrating with all of them was also really cool.
So good question, JP. Carlos wants to know, and this is for Gaby. Gaby, you're one of the last people to beat Paula, and he wants to know what's the game plan going against her? How do you beat Paula? He thinks 3-shot rallies and avoid the ceiling as much as possible.
I think it's just playing with the heart, being smart, patient, and just give everything you have. I think with her, she's a really tough player. She knows all the players, really good. So it is really hard to play against her, but I enjoy it so much. I think she's my favorite player to play against, and I just love it and embrace it when I'm playing against her. So I think there's not like a specific plan against her, just playing as hard as I can and as better as I could at that moment.
Yeah, I know the secret, Gaby, and it's for you to injure yourself the day before, right? And then you play smart because you're injured and you can't dive.
I agree.
We're talking, if you don't know, if you go back to the 2018 World Championships and watch some of those matches, Gaby landed against was it a wall or the glass?
No, it was because I dove and I didn't hit the ball, so my racket kept going, and I hit my elbow right in the bone, so it got bigger and I couldn't move it.
And then, of course, she comes in the next day and wins a world championship. So that's the secret, Carlos. TJ, let me ask you that question because you've seen all of these players so much over the past several years. What's the game plan against Paula? Put you on the spot.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's the question for every player on tour right now because she has set such a standard, she has certainly raised the bar, and I love to hear the players talk about how they measure themselves against how they do against Paola, like how they have improved by playing against Paola, because she is just so good. The players just keep working hard to get better and better, and that's great for me to watch.
Mm-hmm. Well, Margot, who's a board member for LPRT, she either read my mind. Sorry, Margot, I asked the question and I hadn't seen your question, but she says as well, like, Gaby, in that situation where you got injured, how did you prepare mentally to play Paola? Was it I have nothing to lose, so I'm just going to go play because nobody expects me to win? Or were you, mentally focused and had a plan?
Well, actually, it was just a feeling. Like when I woke up, well, I didn't even sleep too much because I was in the hospital until midnight, something like that. And then the therapist was giving me therapy like until 1 in the morning, and I had to play at 9 or something like that, or wake up at 9, and really couldn't sleep great. And when I woke up, I just felt amazing, like I had something good coming up, and I was just focused. Like in the first game, I was really focused on my injury and that I couldn't run or hit the ball the way I wanted. And after losing that match, it just came to my mind like I don't want to be second again, and I really have to focus on what I have to do in the game, and it just changed everything. Like I was not focusing on my injury anymore, just the game and what I really have to focus on.
Mm-hmm. Renee, a question for you, and it's from Megan Shelton, who is a big supporter of the LPRT as well. And she says, Maria Renee, what are the challenges of you traveling to all the stops and being vegan? Do you have to pack your own food very often?
Hi, Megan. Good question. So I'm not like, I call myself a flexible vegan or plant-based mostly, but definitely traveling is one of the reasons why I do not consider myself 100% vegan, because it gets really hard. And so I do pack some of my food. I take a lot of granola bars or protein bars with me. I did that before when I was not a vegan. So not everything has changed, but you just learn to find options like Uber Eats, and it's getting easier. Like some tournament directors are even incorporating vegetarian options to tournaments, which I found super nice from them. Like in Boston, we had vegetarian options like almost every meal, so that was really nice of them. So it's getting easier with time. I think it's becoming more popular, but it is a challenge that you just gotta prepare for.
Well, I'm going to follow that up because Margot asked another one about being vegan, and she says, you know, you've changed your diet. Do you think it's helped you with your performances?
So when I changed to a vegetarian diet first, I think I started training harder at the same time. So it would be really hard for me to say, oh, it was because I went vegetarian, because it was not the only factor that came into play. But I do think it helps me. So eating more plant-based helps with less inflammation. So I do think it's good for me. It works for me. I feel great. So I will keep doing it until I feel like this, you know. So I'm not sure if I'm doing better because of that, but I do like it and I feel good.
Okay. Well, we have a couple of clips to show you guys of some of your action. So let's take a look at these.
When she walks to the back, has a little logo on the front of her shirt. It's not the head one I'm referring to, but she designed it. Great pickup from Martinez. Salas. Oh, that's too good from Martinez.
There's a nice shot from Gaby. Let's take a look at one from Maria Renee. We got to be even here, people.
Great dig from Rodriguez. Oh, and look at the hands from Rodriguez, playing extremely well on the right side this evening. Wow, says a fan to me.
So let me ask you, you know, you guys have been very successful as a doubles team. And what does make a good doubles team, in your opinion?
First of all, communication, and I think experience. It's really hard sometimes because for us, we're not able, like in Mexico or other countries where they choose their partner. We actually they say who we play with here. So maybe also what helps us is that we've been playing together since I was like 12 years old, and I think we grow up together and we know each other so well that we know how to help the other one during the game and also outside the court, which makes us better partners.
Yeah, I would definitely say communication is one of the main things. Like we have worked on it a lot, and besides the fact that we, like Gaby said, we grew up together. We started traveling since we were very young together to junior tournaments, and then we made it to the adult team. Besides that, like it has really been. I mean, we have also put work into our communication. Like we have asked each other, okay, what do you like me to tell you during a match, or what do you don't want me to tell you during a match? So all those little things like actually make a difference once you're playing at a tournament.
Another question, I think it's a TJ. I think this is from Jay Josie, who's on our team on the LPRT. And he says, for both, what TV shows have you been binge watching during the pandemic? So TJ, I'll start with you because I think he's talking about you and me, right?
You guys probably know me well enough. I'm not a big TV watcher, but I will say we have watched episodes of Ozarks.
I knew you were going to say
I'm not
but.
a binge watcher. I can't sit still that long. So
Gabby, what about you?
I love watching. I don't know if Maria Renee can translate this word. Novelas, like narco things, and
Narcos.
Like soap operas, I guess is the translation. I'm not sure. Like Narcos, yeah.
yeah. So I watch a lot of that. I don't know why. It's funny.
You don't know why.
And I'm not a big TV person either, honestly. And I very rarely binge watch anything.
What?
I have very limited time that I focus on studying and trainings. But I have been watching Chicago PD pretty often lately.
All right, we'll move on. Good stuff. I can't say I've seen any of those shows. So Harvey says he's on YouTube. What approach do you take to control your emotions on the court? And when you're playing doubles, how do you try to calm down your partner?
So for me, definitely breathing, and I use my 10 seconds. I've raised my racket. And timeouts. I think timeouts are super important in racquetball. We get 2 or 3 depending on the rules. And same thing for doubles. I think one way, like I said before, it's like knowing what Gaby needs me to tell her to calm down, or just taking a timeout and talking and figuring out what changes we need to do.
Well, I don't really know how. Like, it's really hard for me to control my emotions, but I think timeouts for me are key, because sometimes I get too excited or too mad, but it's like in the limits. It's not like a little, and so timeouts are my way to escape from that and calm down and refocus on what I'm doing. And in doubles, I think we just know the other so well that I see her face and I know what she needs, or her body language, or everything comes up, and it's like, okay, she needs a timeout, or she needs, I don't know, water or anything. And we know when to cheer the other. Sometimes we make mistakes, of course, but we just try to make it the best way to understand the other one.
And I'm going to go back to TJ and ask you a question, and then you can ask them a question. And my question is, in your opinion, watching them play, what makes them a good team and effective on the court? Because they're very successful.
They are. And I will say, I have firsthand experience this only because I had the opportunity to play doubles with Maria Renee. And she's so used to playing with Gaby, they just seem to know where each other's going to be on the court. Maria has her role, Gaby has her position, her court coverage, and Maria knew what shot she's going to take. And when I was in there playing with Maria, we really had to get to know each other, and I had to know what I needed to do for her to play her match. It was a lot of fun, but I think they really know each other's game so well, and I think that's a plus for them, definitely.
And do you have a question for them?
Yeah, actually, I would just to elaborate on the like Maria, you said at the Pan Am Games during your finals doubles match, you had your sports psychologist there. You know, not just on the court but off the court. What is the challenges in the mental game in racquetball, and how do you use your sports psychologist to the best of your benefit?
Well, I think he has helped us a lot, like we mentioned earlier, with communication. Like he makes us talk to each other a lot. Like sometimes we like get in an argument or we get mad at each other and we don't talk about it, and so then like this all spirals up, and so then he comes and he's like, okay, no, we gotta talk about it, and he makes us talk, and it makes things better. And so I think he has helped us a lot with team communication, and also like getting to know each other better through like personality tests, which is also important. And sometimes he would leave us homeworks like you gotta get together outside of racquetball at least once a week. So when I was in Guatemala, so that was interesting too, because as our relationship outside of the court got better, it also made our performance on the court better.
Okay, we're going to take a little break and say thanks to Formula Flow for helping to support the LPRT. And of course, TJ and I are both wearing Splat-Head. We have a lot of support for shirts and things. So let's just say thanks to Formula Flow, and we'll be right back. And of course, thanks to all our sponsors on the LPRT. TJ, I wanted to use this opportunity to talk a little bit about sponsorship and how people can be involved with the LPRT. Can you address that for a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of really creative ways for people and businesses to get involved and support, not only support, but this is an advertising opportunity for these unique businesses to advertise with the LPRT, both on our chat box like this, during our live streams, during our events, and also on our website. So if you're interested in some creative way to market your business, reach out to me, tj@lprtour.com, and we'll talk. Again, there's these women athletes are so amazing. They're very marketable. So it's certainly a great opportunity for a lot of people.
I agree. And if you have never been and watched these ladies perform in person, right now, obviously we can't, but hopefully early in the fall, we'll be able to get back to that. Make a trip, come and see these ladies perform. It's one thing to see them live streamed. It's another to see them in person, and really it's astonishing how good they are, how competitive they are, and also how professional they are. And I know, TJ, we talk about that so much, about how professional all of these athletes are.
They are. I mean, you see it every event, how much work they put into this, how hard they work. And again, as commissioner, it's great for me to watch the improvement of these athletes. I mean, the time they put in off the court and between events and from season to season, I love to see the improvements and just the results on the court for them. It's really great to get to know them off the court as well.
Well, talking about, good segue, TJ. How did you know this? One of the questions that came in was from Herb, and he said, if both Guatemalan players, Gaby, Maria, Renee, were not playing racquetball, what would you be doing?
I would maybe be another sport.
I think we might both say soccer, actually. We both love soccer, and I stopped playing because of racquetball, but I've always said whenever I retire, no matter how old I am, I'm going to join a soccer team.
Well, yeah, we both love that sport, and for sure school, we both love studying and doing our professional academic sideways from sport. So maybe we will both soccer. I love also badminton or any other sport that is Olympic.
Next question came in, and it's from Carlos. He says, I win the majority of my matches because I hate the feeling of losing more than the feeling of winning. Do you feel like me?
Yes.
That's a good question.
Maria Renee, what about you?
Hold on, I'm reading it again. Yeah, for sure. I mean, losing sucks. So I mean, that's why we work hard and we try to get better. Because it really sucks. I mean, there's nothing nice about it. Like you feel like you should have done better. You could have done this or that, and then it's like, well, all you can do is get back and work harder and try again next time. But it's definitely way better to win.
Ruthie Reed asks, and this is for both people, both of you, by the way, what is the most important thing for you to remember when you're on the court in a match? Is there something that you repeatedly say to yourself? Don't suck, Maria Renee? Is that what you?
No, I don't tell myself that. not while I'm playing. For me, I think the main thing is to try to stay in the moment. So I'll repeat maybe like here and now. I think that's very important for me. Just trying to stay in the moment and also try not to think. I tend to overthink. So just letting my body do the work and not let my mind get in the game. Those are my main things.
Mm-hmm. Gaby?
I love reminding myself to have fun because I'm there because I love the sport. I love playing racquetball and not because I'm obligated to do it. So if I enjoy the moment and have fun with what I'm doing, everything will come up better.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then another question for Gaby from Kevin. He says, in 2018, I watched you play in the Costa Rican Open. You played men's IRT and open divisions. Why did you decide to play, and would you do it again?
That time, I played the Costa Rica Open because I had nothing else to do because I was not studying. And the Guatemalan gave me the opportunity to go and play against them. And I think playing against boys, it's a really different game. And I saw it like an opportunity of improvement and playing in a different way. So that's why I decided to play. Maybe I will if I have the time, but I rather play an LPRT stop than playing the Costa Rica Open.
And Maria Renee, you aren't in Guatemala right now, correct?
Yes, that's right.
And so tell us a little bit about where you are now and what you're doing and kind of why you made those decisions.
Okay, so I'm in Kerrville, Texas, which is an hour away from San Antonio. I train in San Antonio at the Y, where we have the LPRT Battle at the Alamo every year. So I'm training there with George Bustos and all of the team there, and it's been a great experience. I moved over here for two reasons. One, racquetball, and the other one is that I'm getting my master's in counseling. So I really wanted to study abroad ever since I graduated from high school, but it finally happened now. So this was a perfect opportunity for me to pursue my master's degree and also pursue racquetball even more, because now that I'm here, it's more affordable for me to go to more tournaments. So I'm going to every LPRT tournament now. And also there's more tournaments here. There's more people. So I get the chance to play against different players more often than before.
Good answer. I think we have one more video to show you guys. So let's take another look.
Forehand pinch winner from Rodriguez.
We heard a lot of communication in that rally, and you guys talk to each other a lot. How do you decide who takes the balls that come down the middle?
Well, it depends on how we're standing at that moment. It could vary, like on the position we have at that moment. But I think mostly is the one who has the ball closer or more comfortable to take it.
We should also mention that you two were playing against in that match, and as well as in the Pan Am Games when you won the silver against the #1 ranked team in the world.
Right. and you played them in Chile, right? In the Pan Am Championships as well.
In Chile, I think Paola was playing with Alexandra, if I'm not mistaken. So I was again Mexico, but it was a different team.
Okay. 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 Next question. Harvey says, Gabby, do you have plans with the logo you created? Are you going to do shirts and things like that? Maybe you should tell people what your logo is, because some people may not know.
Okay. Well, I'm studying design, so that's why I created my own logo, and also I had someone to help me with that at that moment. But the logo, I don't have it right now here, but is the court with the G and the M from Gaby Martinez, and that's mainly the logo. So yeah, I plan on doing some things maybe next year because of this whole COVID thing, but maybe I'll have some surprises for everyone next year.
Some surprises. Okay, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to that. Next question. Actually, it's a statement and then a question. Dick says, it's so good to see Gabby with a smile on her face. In person, she's all business. Dick, you need to get to know Gabby a little bit more, I promise you. But he does ask a question to you both. In an upcoming match, do you like to plan your attack as to how you're going to pursue the win? Or is it a case of, I'm going to just go play my game and see what my opponent does?
I usually have a plan against each player. We've been playing a long time against each other, so we know some strategies against each one of them. But usually I just have that in mind as a base plan, and we know racquetball is a situation sport, so everything could change in a minute, and they could be playing different that time. So I just have that plan as a base, and I just play my game the rest.
Yeah, I would say the same. Like, yeah, you have a certain idea of like what serves maybe they have more trouble with or what affects them, but you got to be very flexible. You got to be in the moment and just tackle each challenge as it comes.
TJ, I know you have more questions for these two. You want to ask one of those?
Yeah, one of my questions is, Gabby, I think you're surprising yourself at how good your English is right now. But did you learn English before you started playing the tour, or did you learn it because or while you were playing the tour?
No, we both graduated from schools that is full English, they call it here. So we, like, since we were little, we have like half of our classes in Spanish and half in English. So that's where I learned. I never practice it because here we only speak Spanish. So mainly practice it in the tour and tournaments, but that's why I'm not really good at it because I never practice it too much here. So I might need a little more practice.
You're doing great.
Gabby, I think what you just said is that you're going to come and do commentary with me at the tournaments, right? So you can practice.
Okay.
I think she'd rather go shopping, Tim, at tournaments, but maybe you can convince her of that.
So what do you guys like to do for fun? We've talked a lot about matches and strategy and mental toughness, but what do you like to do? How do you like to relax and get away from the pressure?
Well,
nobody answers.
So at tournaments, we spend a lot of time on our hotel rooms, really, because we don't want to get tired. Like, we typically don't like go and do much activity if we're still playing. So we'll watch movies, for example. I love watching movies. And when I'm not in a tournament, I like reading a lot, and I love spending time with the dogs here. So yeah.
It's a hard question because we don't really have much time to spend and relax. I love drawing and singing. I'm not really good at it. I'm not any good at it, but but yeah, I like it. It's something I enjoy. Singing and dancing. I usually like do it when I'm bathing or alone in the house. But yeah, I also like watching movies and TV series, and that's mainly what I do. Or go and have fun with my family. We do different activities or friends. I just like to talk a lot.
And I know you both love to travel. So, is there a particular country that you want to see or travel to?
Not sure.
Really? I'm surprised.
I mean, for sure. I mean, as many as possible, but there's nothing that comes to my mind right now. I don't know, I'm gonna say Japan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gaby?
Yeah, I think I have many places to go. I have never went to the other side. Like I just know America. So yeah, I would love um, Greece, Asia. That is so interesting to me. And also, I love the ocean and Bali, all the islands. I like everywhere.
Another question came in from Mike Jimenez. I think you both know Mike. Growing up, what players did you like? Who were your favorite players? And what style of play do you prefer? Do you prefer control or power?
I think Ronda was the one that I really liked watching. When I was growing up, I remember watching her play in my first World Championships in Seoul, Korea in 2010. And I really enjoyed how she like dives and is like very like athletic. And so I mean, I'm gonna say like most LPRD players are very powerful. Like I don't think control is. I mean, they all have control also, but I think most players have a lot of power. So yeah.
So do you prefer power or control?
I don't have a preference, honestly. I think they each have a good things that I like and things that I don't like. I don't know.
Gaby?
Well, I think I grew up just knowing Paola. Like when I had the opportunity to play on the Opens, Paola was already the number one. So I was just like, I wanna, my way of thinking was not, I wanna be like her, but I wanna beat her. So since I started playing against her, like when I was 14, if I'm not wrong, um, I just wanted to beat her. So I was looking for her just to see in what she was missing or she was not really good at it. And yeah, so Paola, and I love both games, power and control. I think there's a moment uh, for each one. I love Sotsi, call it the cuchillo because I cut the ball instead of hitting it sometimes. Um, I love doing that during the game, but I also love the feeling you get when you hit the ball really hard and when it hits the wall and sounds really good. So I will say I love power in like for training and control sometimes in tournaments.
Mm. And Maria Renee, Mike again has a question, but it's for you. He says, now that you're in Texas, what habits are you picking up? And you can only say these. He wants Texas words.
Y'all.
Y'all, yeah, yes, y'all. Yeah, okay.
Well, we know that Montse is on the line. She's watching as well. So hola, Montse. And we hope to have her on as a guest at some point. TJ, your turn for a question.
Yeah, so Maria, I talked to you a little bit about this, and knowing that you're both from Guatemala, Maria, you're working on a project right now to help some young people from Guatemala. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, thank you, TJ. So Gaby and I are working on this fundraiser for some of our junior players in Guatemala. Like I said earlier, most of our players come from vulnerable zones, and racquetball is really an opportunity for them to have a better life. But in this specific moment with COVID-19 and everything that is going on, they're having a especially tough time. So Gaby and I are doing this fundraiser to buy food for these players because they're the future of Guatemala racquetball, and we think that as players that are representing Guatemala right now, we have a duty to the new generation. So we're gonna be putting the link up in the next couple of days, and so anyone that can give a donation, like it would be very appreciated for our juniors back home. And yeah, maybe Gaby can talk about it in Spanish for those people that are watching from Guatemala as well.
Sí, bueno, con María René, bueno, sentimos esta responsabilidad de ayudar a todos los juveniles por esta situación del COVID. Hay muchísimos que están siendo muy afectados con esta situación, ¿verdad? Económicamente. Ellos, la mayoría vienen de lugares muy vulnerables y esta situación pues ha sido muy dura para ellos, y lo que queremos es también nosotras como representantes y sus líderes en este momento, queremos ayudarlos a que puedan salir de esta situación y que pues tengan un poco de ayuda, ¿verdad? Que sepan que también cuentan con nosotros, y pues todas las donaciones que puedan serán bienvenidas, la verdad. Esperamos poder ayudar a estos chiquitos que son el futuro de nuestro deporte, y bueno, agradecerles desde ya por las intenciones, ¿verdad? Creo que como ahorita como medallistas y como representantes de ellos también, lo único que queremos es ayudar y que toda esta gente pues tenga una mejor vida en este momento. Sabemos de que a todos nos ha afectado, tanto psicológica como económicamente, pero es importante poder ayudar a los que más lo necesitan.
That's really great that both of you are doing that. I mean, awesome. You said a link will be up soon where people can donate. Where might they be able to find that?
Yes, so we'll post it on our pages. We'll share it as much as we can. Hopefully we can share on the LPRT as well, if that's okay. And yeah, in the next couple of days it should be up, and then so we'll collect the donations, and Gaby will help with the logistics back in Guatemala, buying the food, and we'll send pictures to everyone that helps. So thank you in advance. Like Gaby said, it's we all have been affected by the situation, but there's some of us that are doing a little bit worse, and we can do maybe a little bit something for somebody else that needs it more.
Well done. Well done. Oh, Tim, we can't hear you. Hey, Tim, we lost. Can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Technical.
Fixing to Maria Renee. That's what the phrase you've got to learn from Texas, according to your roomie, Sandy Rios.
Thank you, Sandy. Sandy has been great to me. I'm here in her house, and we have a great time together. Ever since I've been here, I've watched more racquetball than ever before because she watches everything. She watches LPRT, IRT, and so we've been watching that together a lot. And she's also a sponsor of the Battle di Alamo tournament we have here every year. So thank you, Sandy, and thanks to everyone that donates or sponsors the LPRT and the LPRT tournaments. It really helps us as players to travel and do what we love. So thank you.
Well, I do want to be thoughtful of the time and how much time you've given to us. I do have one more question. I've got to post it up. It's Jay again, and he says for both, who would win between you two in an arm wrestling match?
Es como peleitas, como así.
I don't know.
Pulso.
A pulso, sí. I don't know. Maybe we can try.
Okay, so next time you guys next time you guys are at a tournament, we're gonna do this. Okay, we're gonna live stream the arm wrestling match. So
Okay.
you guys
Okay.
better get the
I'll
weights. You better
I'll
start
start
working
training.
out.
We'll start training to get hard arms.
That's awesome. TJ, any final thoughts before we kind of close this out?
Well, just thank you to both of you for taking the time out to do this. And again, well done on your fundraising efforts to feed some of the young people in Guatemala. It just goes to show again what outstanding players you are off the court as well as on.
Thank you, and thank you guys too for the work you do for the tour. We really appreciate it. I know I see it from behind as the ref. I'm there most of the time, and I know how much time you put into this and how much work. So thanks to you guys too for doing these interviews. I think they're really interesting for people to get to know the LPRT players more.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank you for everything you do for us, not only Maria Renee and me, but all the ladies playing in the tour. That we have everything. We get to the place and we have everything ready for us to play, and it's just amazing how much work you do for us. So thank you, and thank you for everybody watching this. And in Spanish, gracias a todos por vernos y por apoyarnos en todo momento. Es muy importante nosotros como atletas profesionales saber de que tenemos a gente apoyándonos y siguiéndonos, y agradecerles por tomarse su tiempo de vernos un ratito y conocernos un poco más.
And thank you both very much for joining us. And of course, TJ, your support as always. I do want to mention what's coming up next week. This one should be a lot of fun. Maria Jose Vargas, Natalia Mendez will be joining us next Thursday evening, and it will be in Spanish. So we'll have a guest presenter. I'll step aside, TJ will step aside, and we'll do the whole thing in Spanish. So I hope you join us for that. It should be a lot of fun. And I know, TJ, I'm kind of excited about this one. These two, they're great personalities.
Yes. Yeah, looking forward to that one as well. These have all been so great. I've enjoyed showing these players to the rest of the world because I've gotten to know them so well, and they're just amazing people. So this is a lot of fun. So thank you, Tim.
Oh, my pleasure. And thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in 1 week.